Blessings, everyone. Okay, I'm going to get right into this. This is about dreams and visions, and I am going to be comparing one of my dreams. Not even a dream. It was God visiting me. Okay, the night that God visited me, and the night that God visited Solomon. But before I go any further with this, I have to explain to you that. Why I'm doing this is because there's so much out there that I don't feel there's enough to compare spiritual with spiritual in the spirit, in the spirit of truth. And so what I want to do is I just want to bring this forward so that people can discern and use something to discern with. And I'm speaking of, prophets, so false prophets like Jonathan Kleck, and those that are coming up and saying that they're talking to him, they're seeing him, and this sort of thing. So what I'm going to do is I am just going to bring my testimony here to the forefront and put it on the table, okay? So that you may discern or have something to discern. Okay, I have to start off at the age of 12 in my dream because this really caps it at the end of all of this. So it's important that you use your discernment like I asked, because I'm not going to explain it. So it's something for you to work on in truth when you go up in spirit. When I was 12 years old, I had a dream of a woman and a young baby, a newborn boy, and they were on the couch, and I was just kneeling on the floor, and we were just talking about the birth and not birth, but just life, and about this little boy and how beautiful he was. And she stated that it was her boy. And when she did that, I was very upset because I really truly believed that this boy was mine. I was deeply believing that this boy was mine, and I was so insulted by what she had said. I came out of the dream, I was still upset. I was shaking my head. That's my boy. And I realized that I was 12 years old and I didn't have a boy. So, whoa, what a dream. It was a pretty powerful dream, one that I never forgot. So now I'm going to jump to 16. At 16, it's at night, and I jump on the bed, pajamas and all, and I jump on the bed and I just start talking. I just started to talk to God. I just, God, how do you know my name? How do you know my name if you can heal one bird? How do you know my name? And that's when I heard, I am. And then he started to explain to me how we were connected and how he knew my name. I was understanding everything without words. Everything came to me. I received without, I just, no problem. So what I was trying to do as I was understanding this, I was trying to hold on to something so I could bring it into words, but I couldn't. And I struggle with the words water and energy. I struggle with that. I'm not even sure about that. So it was immediately after that. That's when God said, what do you want from me? Okay, so then I don't know what. I just respond immediately to the question, and I didn't know anything. I didn't know scripture. I didn't know church, religion, or any of that. So I asked what I knew, and I loved and adored my mother. So I asked to be just like her, and that I wanted, my family. I asked for 2 girls and a boy, the opposite of my mother having the 2 boys and the girl. And so in that order, and I asked for the 2 girls from a native man, and my son to be from a man with red hair. Yeah, you heard me. And so it was immediately after that, I asked God, I said, what's the difference between body and soul? And so that my soul came up to my waist, I turned around and I saw myself at rest, and then I went back into my body. Immediately after that, that's when I felt like I was paralyzed. I couldn't speak. My hands couldn't move. My toes, I couldn't move. And then I noticed that I felt there was a presence. I felt that there was a presence beside me sitting in a chair. And this presence had a question for me that I had the answer to, but I couldn't speak and I couldn't write. And then immediately after that, I said, God, I want to help souls. I want to help the souls. I want nothing to do with the body. So it was the next morning when I got up. I just shook my head and I said to myself, who was I just talking to? Who was I talking to last night? I am. Who's I am? Where did I hear that before? And then I remembered the 10 Commandments. That's when I knew I was talking to God. And the shame immediately followed because of what I asked for in the order that I asked it. So I received all that I've asked for concerning my family, my 2 girls, my boys, my girls from a native man, and my son is from a red-headed man. So once I put all this together, Spirit brought me back to my dream when I was 12. And that's when the light bulb come on, and that's when I had my revelation, and that's when everything opened up for me. And the shame that I carried for so many years because of what it is that I asked was lifted. Because when I went back to the dream when I was 12, I realized that everything that I had asked for when I was 16 was already asked, had already been asked. Because that little boy, when I was 12 in that dream, is my stepson. Oh, I love him so much. Okay. God showed me that he put everything before us, that it is his hand that does that. So I knew everything that I looked at was God first. When I had my children, I knew they were God's children, not mine. Now, the reason why I was paralyzed and I couldn't speak, God was showing me what was about to take place with my cousin. Years later, my cousin was diagnosed with MS, and I received a phone call from her son, who is now 23. Maybe older than that. No, it could be older than that for sure. 27, I guess. That's a guess. In his 20s anyway. And I received a phone call from him that my cousin wanted me by her side. So I went to her side immediately. 4-hour drive. And I sat there in her wheelchair beside her. Immediately I knew I was shot right back to 16 years old again, and I knew this was God. You see, because it was just a reverse role. It was my cousin who was paralyzed and couldn't speak, and it was me that had the questions that she had the answers to. And I've always known that God is before us and He puts everything before us. And that is why I've always had God. Jesus was always before me in decisions with my marriage, my children. Now I'm going to read Kings 3, starting at verse 5. In Gibeon the Lord appeared to Solomon in a dream by night, and God said, "Ask what I shall give thee." And Solomon said, "Thou hast shown unto thy servant David my father great mercy according to as he walked before thee in truth and in righteousness, and in an uprightness of heart with thee. And thou hast kept him from this great kindness that has given him a son to sit on his throne, as it is this day. And now, O Lord my God, thou hast made thy servant king instead of David my father, and I am but a little child. I know not how to go out or in or come in. And thy servant is in the midst of these people, which thou hast chosen and given great people that cannot be numbered nor counted for multitude. Give therefore thy servant an understanding heart to judge thy people, that I may discern between God and good and bad. For who is able to judge this thy so great a people?" And the speech pleased the Lord that Solomon had asked this thing. And God said unto him, "Because thou hast asked this thing, and hast not asked for thyself long life, neither had asked riches for thyself, nor had asked for the life of thy enemies, but hast asked for thyself understanding to discern judgment. Behold, I have done according to thy words. Lo, I have given thee a wise and understanding heart, so that there was none like thee before thee, neither after thee shall any arise like unto thee. And I have also given thee that which thou hast not asked, both riches and honor, so that there shall not be any among the kings like unto thee all thy days. And if thou wilt walk in my ways, to keep my statutes and my commandments, as thy father David did walk, then I will lengthen thy days." And Solomon awoke, and behold, it was a dream, and he came to Jerusalem, and stood before the ark of the covenant of the Lord, and offered up burnt offerings, and offered peace offerings, and made feast to all his servants. So I'm just going to leave it at this for discernment. Yeah, all right, that's okay. No fear, be love, and give hope. Okay.